kittens, it's the kind kitten here. Hello! And I am on my remake of Tycoon 132's single player world. And I'm sorry I have been gone so long, but I finished this and then I was waiting on. If I say KC, by the way, I mean Tycoon 132. I'm so used to calling him KC that I'm just going to do that from now on. So basically, I was I'd been sending Casey pictures of this in his Discord. And speaking of which, I should link his Discord below because some people still, for some reason, don't seem to know he has one. And they're like, geez, that Tycoon 132 guy was really good and he's disappeared. So I'll link it below. And if I forget to link his Discord and channel below, please remind me. But basically, he's been a great friend over the years, so I thought, oh, he's revamping his old world, so I'm going to as well. But obviously, we don't agree on everything, such as me using the carpets for an alternative sort of like raised grass texture. Which, also, I think my sounds are a little bit high. I've also changed some settings. So, although I'm speaking softly, you should hear that my microphone is a lot louder, and there shouldn't be any background noise now, because before there was a sort of a faint hissing, and it should be off now. So, as you can see, this is the update. I'll let you pause and read the signs. Thank you for being such a good friend, Casey. And he made me laugh on the opening of his because he said that I was quite persistent in bringing him back, trying to encourage him back to YouTube, and he is completely right. I just thought it was a shame that all of the bad things that happened put him off Minecraft, and I was like, oh no, it's not going to be the same without him. And although I knew where he was and I knew what he was up to, other people didn't, and they wouldn't know what was going on with him, which was why, at the very least, I said, if you never want to come back, please put out occasional updates just to say you're alive. But I guess me doing positive reinforcement plus other people sort of giving him, and I was also showing him like everyone's comments and being like, look, people do care, they do miss you. And I guess it paid off. I'm not saying it was me alone, but I was definitely persistent. I will agree with him on that. So anyway, using the incredibly limited single player world edit, it took a very long time, and I'll put it on my Planet Minecraft eventually. I bear in mind I didn't want to do this video until he had done his videos on my world, and now he has, so I can show you my stuff and put my own input into it, because there was also a few things he was confused about, which I will now clarify, even though I put a comment on his video. He did, for some reason, even though I'd mentioned it, I think he forgot to mention it in the video, it's the little T for Tycoon. So I was trying to make the windows more, well, sort of more realistic. So I've not really seen, medieval style homes with like, huge open windows, at least from the pictures I've seen. So I was trying to make it mostly a little bit more realistic. But then I had to keep the T because he had that. I can't remember if the original window was shaped as a T or if he just had a T in it, but yeah, I sort of thought I'd keep that as well. And I'm trying to remember what he mentioned in the videos. He asked, don't know if the fact that the waterfall was created was a coincidence, he said, or if it was just like great minds think alike kind of thing. To be honest, it was a little bit of both. I'd seen him sort of remaking his world, and I thought, well, I want a waterfall there anyway. And in addition, there was a pond down here, at least if I recall. And I thought, well, where's the water coming from, so therefore you got that. I'm gonna do all this very quickly, but bear in mind I'm only running around really quickly to show what I've built. If you want a more thorough tour, there is a video in his channel that I will link as well. It's called Kitten, I can't remember, it's something like Kitten Remix. And also, if you go off this side of the well, there's a little drop down there. Also, those sounds now seem really loud. So options, where is it? Options, music and sounds. I'll turn the master volume to 4, and if it gets too loud, then I will just turn it down. So I'm going to very quickly go along the outside. There are things in his video that I was like, why did I not clean them up like this? There we go. We can pretend that no one saw that though. Although to be fair, most of the things in his videos I was like, yeah, I've cleaned that up, so it's not too bad. Also, bear in mind my commentary, well, it was never great, but it's a bit worse because I am severely out of practice. So we got here Shroom Cave, and he said about possibly putting a sign there, because in his world there was all like secret signs, and I might possibly do that. So I've not gone extensively far. I've gone about to there, and then I thought that's enough for building. That will do, because I effectively did this all by hand. And the single player world edit on Minecraft is not very good. And in addition to that, it doesn't have an undo option. So if you muck up with the world edit, you're screwed, basically. So another thing, oh, you can see I've made his graveyard a little bit more fancy, and it's funny as well because he said I haven't really done anything in here. I intended to, but I thought for the first incarnation, I was just like, this will do. I've done quite a lot, and he didn't actually manage to see this. You see, like a sneaky hidden area. So it was a good thing he didn't go into spectator mode, because otherwise he would have spotted that. I might do like sort of like, you know, graves in like an underground labyrinth or something, but I thought for the first rendition of this for Planet Minecraft, I can just sort of fill in the bits I didn't do with like walls and no one would ever know. So this is supposed to be well, the spruce planks is supposed to be just another colour of mud, although I can see why he got confused. It was just purely an aesthetic thing. So maybe I'll replace it with like some more podzol or something. It was just because I was like, yep, I need another shade of brown, and that was pretty much the thinking behind that. Sometimes people don't use materials based on how much sense it makes, as much as, oh, that's a brown and it's a different type of brown. And you can see he looked up and I think he noticed this, but this is his Minecraft face as best as I could put it into a mountain, hence the non-inventive name Mount Tychon. That wasn't there before in his original world. And another thing he asked on my, oh, he liked the clouds, which I was like, to be honest, I was blushing pretty much through all of his video, so yeah, go figure. Compliments, my face goes red. But one of the questions he asked here, and he didn't look back at this point, he said, why a jungle? And the reason is because his world was, I think, beta generation, so you can probably tell there's not really a lot out there. And I thought, rather than building out indefinitely until I get to a jungle with all the new terrain generation, I'm just going to make one right here. And in addition, it sort of shows people what a custom jungle, what another custom biome from me looks like. In this case, a jungle. And yeah, it's saying like, oh, that's a little pond, and I'm like, it's a bit bigger than a pond. I mean, I guess maybe I could connect it to here, and then it turn into a lake. But you can see I'm just going through. So if you miss things, go to his videos, and you will see. Here we go. Dungeon ahead, drop off cave, and just to answer a question he asked again, this was a default dungeon I found, but the default dungeons look ugly, so I spruced it up. I'm trying to, because I'm realizing the video's gone on for quite a while, I'm just very quickly trying to go through. You can see I've customized the swamp a little bit. Shroom Swamp, not the most inventive name, but when it comes to naming places, I'm not that creative, even though in other aspects I am. And you can see I was like, that's the limit. I've spent like weeks on this. That's quite enough. And that was to if someone played this in survival mode, this was to stop them from falling down. Again, I don't know if people would play this world in survival mode. And here you got like outside area, sort of lovely waterfall with a farm. This again was more for show because with all the bits missing and these walls in the way, it's not very practical. So I don't think it would be great in survival. You can see these bits in between, more for aesthetics. But then if you played it in survival, you could very easily turn this into a proper farm. And I stopped here because again, lots of work. I'm just skimming around the outside very quickly. You can see I had lots of windows. I was trying to add one there, but it didn't work. Little pathway there. Little hidden passageway there. And we can see into the library, which I'm going to tease and not show. And the one thing, well, he saw it eventually, but I don't think he saw it on the first time he was looking at this, is the little balcony area up here, which I think looks pretty spiffy. And I would agree with him about the cloud effects. He liked them, but he said that if he was in survival, he would never spend the time doing that. And to be honest, neither would I. It's too much. So I'll just show you very quickly over here. There's a little like coral pond, and Casey, I might change that because I kind of agree it doesn't make sense, apart from I was just like, oh, it looks pretty. And yeah, so that's the video. And on the next one, I'll probably show the inside. And I will link Casey's videos and channel, and hopefully eventually my Planet Minecraft account, or I'll just reveal that in a future video and be like, yep, I've put it on there now. So this was the kind kitten, and yeah, thank you everyone for following my channel all these time, and thank you Casey for being an amazing friend, and I know you'll do fantastically on YouTube, and I'm proud of you. See you everyone. Bye.